Welcome back to Cats on Guard. It's another exciting foray into the secrets that the airline probably don't want you to know. What happens up in the flight deck once we close that door? What happens when we go off duty? We've got stories from over 50 years combined experience. If you want to drop us a line, send us an email to catsongguard@gmail.com. Check out our Facebook if you want to leave a comment there. Let's get going with another Cats on Guard.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cats on Guard. This is Captain Richard Millian.
Rich Millian, I'm MC Howe. Welcome to Cats on Guard. I heard you had a concert. I went to a concert recently.
I'm going to a concert in 4 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours? That's quite soon. 4 hours. Where are you going? Who are you going to see?
By public transportation.
Who are you going to see?
A rock concert. I have a band from high school called Taking Back Sunday.
A band from high school?
Well, I think they were popular. They're still popular today, 20 years later. But
okay. You mean a band that was popular when you were in high school? You're not going to see a high school band?
No.
You're not going to like some kid's garage where he's learning how to play?
No. But that's true. They learned how to play.
Okay.
Everyone started in a garage somewhere, right?
I also went to a band concert recently. And I'm going to another concert next week. I've got to go to the 2 now middle school band concerts.
Oh, those are probably not the same kind of bar.
No, it's a very different crowd, and I think really the whole point of it is for the middle school band director to get his moment in the spotlight, because he goes up on stage. And it is very clear in his eyes that we're all there for him. Yeah.
He's reliving his childhood dreams with other people's children.
Yeah, but he's also wants to make sure that you're enjoying it in the right manner, because the first one we went to, he was very adamant in explaining how we are to applaud and behave. And the kids, so the band, like each grade plays their instruments, and then they sit in the audience while the next grade is up. So they're out there with us clapping at the same time. And I think when he's explaining how to clap, he's able to pull it off as I'm telling your kids how to clap, but he's
really telling you.
Yeah, he's really telling the parents. So yeah, I've got that going. But you're going to one today in 4 hours.
Different kind of concert. And I'm sure they don't serve beer at your concert.
No. Well, that sounds fun. You're on a layover then.
Yeah, it's a 30-hour layover, so it's a perfect amount of time to get some sleep, spend a full day up and about, and go back to sleep and work the next cycle. Yeah. I like to check the internet apps that sell tickets to events. I don't know if I can use the company name, but you want to just drop the StubHub or the Live Nation or all those different companies.
And do you do that ahead of time, or do you wait till you get to your city?
Once I know where I'm going, I'll take a look. I'll plug the dates in, pick the city, and I'll let it spit out a bunch of, and I don't, maybe I'm cheap like this. I don't always buy tickets from the app, but I use the app to let me know what's going on in the area: sports, concerts, venues, festivals, activities.
Do you ever find, sometimes I think it's a risk to buy those things ahead of time, because in this industry, sometimes our schedules change and you can be sitting there holding a set of tickets and you don't end up in the same city.
That's why I look at the app once I know I'm going there. I don't actually buy anything, but I do look.
Smart. That's
smart. I have a list of options with times and distance from the hotel, and I'll have time. And there's a lot of planning that goes into this, because it may be in the same town, but an hour away by public transportation. It may be in the same town, but weather permitting, like a baseball. Cancel baseball games all the time for weather. I will not buy baseball tickets ahead of time, because you might get to the city and it gets rained out. They say, hey, just come back tomorrow with your ticket. Well, I'm not here tomorrow. I'm leaving tonight.
Yeah. I don't know if I told you this story last time. I was going to Newark, and there was a mom and dad that came under the flight deck, which is pretty unusual for a middle-aged couple to just pop their head up. Like, kids come in all the time, I'm happy to have the kids in, let them push some buttons, flip some switches, have some fun, get your picture. Moms and dads without kids, kind of rare, but it turned out they had met the FO I was flying with earlier. They were talking to him. Well, their son plays hockey for the New Jersey Devils.
You did tell me about this one. I remember. Please elaborate. Yeah.
But I don't know if I told you this on air. So they were going to watch him play a game, and they were so excited. They were just ecstatic about this kid. And he was, I think it was his second year in the league. And they have two other kids that were really, they were the most enthusiastic mom and dad sports parents I've ever met. But I think the moment really hit me when the mom told me how her son had picked up another player. They got into a fight, and he basically suplexed him on the ice and knocked him out cold. And I've never seen a prouder mom than when she was describing how her child practically beheaded another hockey player.
Violent assault to be proud of.
Yeah.
That's a hockey thing, isn't it?
But
Just hockey.
I thought, well, boy, we're going into this city, but we're only going, it's an out and back. If I was staying, I think they would have taken me to the game with them.
That would have been amazing.
It would have been so fun. But I told you another one, how I did the batting practice trip down in Tampa. So here's another opportunity to revisit some of the fun we've had out on the road. So concerts, fun, done a few of them.
Sporting events, fun.
Yeah. I've been to baseball games. I've been to amusement parks. What about you?
I have I'm a hockey fan. I have an internal, unofficial mission to see every arena.
Oh yeah?
As I can check them off, yeah.
And you're up to how many?
Oh, it's not half. I'm not halfway there.
Really?
So yeah,
you got a long ways to go. That's good, though.
Which is a fun adventure.
Because when you finish it, then what? You'd be like, I'm done, I guess.
No, because by the
Start
time I
over?
finish, there'll be new teams. Teams will fold it. There'll be new arenas to see. They rebuild an arena. They move a team. There'll be more to go.
I heard you're gonna. So the Arizona hockey team is no more. I heard this recently.
The Utah Hockey Club or something along those lines. Yeah. So the hockey team moved to Salt Lake City.
But did they actually move the hockey team? The way I read about it was the hockey team actually folded, and then someone in Utah bought the rights to it and all of their former players. So yes, in essence,
so
the
it's
hockey
not a
team,
move. It's just
it's a we all quit. This company went out of business, and then we're starting a new one in another place.
And I have not looked into the financials.
Positions. Yeah.
Okay. And the documentation.
And they don't have a name.
They have a name, the Utah Hockey Club. Yeah.
They were the the Arizona somethings, Phoenix Coyotes.
They were the Phoenix Coyotes.
Yeah.
Before that, Phoenix Coyotes went to Arizona Coyotes because they left Phoenix, or they wanted more credit for Glendale or something along those lines. Politics.
So you now have to get to Salt Lake to go to their hockey arena.
That's fine. I never made it to Phoenix, so I don't see.
Well, yeah. Might still be there.
Yeah, maybe they'll move back.
Do you have to go to a hockey game to make it count?
Yes.
Can you go to the arena for some other event?
No, I won't count that.
That's like if you visit, like I recently knocked off my 50th state, which was Idaho. It was the last one on my list. And all it was is we did a turn, but I went into the terminal to make sure that I probably should have gone outside.
Well, I should have
gone out. I should have done the walk around. I should have done the walk around because I never actually stepped outside.
In my book, I have to leave the airport to count that as seeing a state. I have to get off the airport property.
I kind of feel the same way, although I have this map on my wall at home that I put little pins in it, places I've been, and I have pinned airports. So I don't know if that counts.
But there's a little asterisk in your mind, and you'll know that forever.
Right.
So what was it like in Wyoming? Well, I only remember the terminal.
Yeah.
So cool overnights. Yeah, you were talking. We're on the hockey talk. Let me talk to you about Warroad, Minnesota.
Go ahead.
I've only spent one night there, but it was one of the best nights I've spent at work in a very long time. Probably that's on my top 10 list for sure. Now, I'll tell you why. If you're a hockey fan, Warroad, Minnesota is a very small town. I think it's 3,000 or 4,000 population. However, they have the most gold medal Olympian hockey players per capita in this country. So the USA There's no other town that has more gold medal Olympians than them. And as a hockey fan, landing and overnighting in Warroad, Minnesota, which I learned a lot once I got there, but it was a really cool experience to be there.
This is a town called Warroad.
Yep. One word, but it's two words, but it's one word.
Warroad.
Yep.
Warroad, Minnesota.
So it's on the very northern border of Minnesota. I think it's 3 or 4 miles from the Canadian border. There is one large corporation in town, maybe two, that support the whole town. A lot of hockey going on constantly. We were bringing cargo to that airport. It was, I think Polaris is the ATV company down the road, and they needed parts brought up there. But we were really tired, so we go to the hotel. Well, there's only like 2 hotels in that town, and they're motels. Nicest motel with an M that I've ever stayed in. I don't know why they couldn't just call it a hotel. And it happened to be attached to a log cabin style, let's call it tavern, because it was a bar, but it had good food too. And we went to get dinner there before we went to bed. And along the walls were the hockey jerseys of all of the professional and Olympic and semi-pro and college hockey athletes that have come out of that town.
I used to go to a barbershop. He would do that with all of the high school jerseys.
That's cool.
I
Did
don't know if
everybody
any
get
of
their
them-
haircut there?
Yeah. It was right down the street.
Okay. Well, it's cool to
Not-
see what this
Not
town
Olympic
produced.
hockeys, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we sat down. We had a couple of sodas. Let's say sodas and dinner.
Sodas mixed with something.
Yeah, sure.
Ice.
And the most convenient part about this is the restaurant is attached to the hallway leading to our rooms.
Oh, that's convenient.
No car required, no
You don't even have to go
Uber.
outside in the Minnesota winter.
Correct. Just
Minnesota.
wander yourself back to your room and
You didn't even
click,
know.
click.
I spent an entire winter in Minnesota one year, and it was very Minnesota wintry. But I did learn the lingo, cool, and the like. But yeah,
Bag.
was that one?
Did you put your lunch in a bag?
No, there was a cafeteria.
Ah, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got it in you, though. That's for
I
sure.
got it.
And, you know,
I got it.
pilots are good with accents. We see a lot of different accents where we go.
We do, and we sit next to a lot of different accents too sometimes,
Yeah,
which
pilots
makes it
come from
interesting.
all over the place. You could be a Houston-based pilot flying with a New Yorker. It sounds like Joe Pesci.
Into Boston.
You get a Mark Wahlberg out of it.
Yeah. And which brings up a lot of the different places that we have gone. I once did a trip to a place called, speaking of down south, you said Houston, I'm going to go to Atlanta. I did a trip into Atlanta one year, and it was a long, long day, like a 12-hour day, longer day, 16-hour day, we'll call it. This is my regional days. No, it wasn't. It was my current days. It was so long ago. That's why I don't remember. I've been doing this for a very long time. I just passed my 17th anniversary at this current job.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You know, I get a prize. I didn't know you get this prize, but at 15 years, you get a trophy. They give you a trophy.
Really? A trophy?
Yeah, they gave me a trophy, and they spelled my name wrong.
Yeesh. We
So-
talked about this when we flew together.
Yeah, that seemed about right. So I'm in Atlanta. It's the end of a 16-hour day, just dog tired. All I want to do is go to bed. It's midnight, and we get downtown Atlanta, and all of a sudden, I'm noticing there are people all over town dressed in strange costumes, like superhero gear and stormtrooper outfits, and there are Wookiees walking around and wizards. And do you know what they're doing?
Comic-Con?
Dragon Con.
Dragon God.
Atlanta hosts a thing called Dragon Con. It's just like Comic-Con. It's comic books, movies, sci-fi, fantasy, but it's in Atlanta.
Okay.
And our hotel was the host hotel for this thing, which I had no idea even existed. And then we get there, and so all of a sudden, I'm wide awake. And we're down there, 5 of us, flight attendants, 2 pilots, and we went out with these guys, and we partied till 3 o'clock in the morning with those geeks, because I have never had so much fun in my life.
That is so cool.
I discovered after staying in that hotel for many years, and now that I'm realizing, there were 3 levels of ballroom underneath the lobby. I didn't
No
even
way.
know there was. I didn't even know every room, and it just Every
Levels.
room levels, and every room had some crazy thing going on. And so it was like, well, I didn't pay. You know, you got to pay. You attend these things, you got to have a badge, and I didn't have any of that. In fact, we should have kept our pilot clothes on. We changed into our regular
You
civilian
would have fit
clothes
right in uniform wise, yeah.
because when we left to go back the next day, we're wearing our pilot suits in the elevator, and we got a lot of compliments on our costumes. So
I mean, they are
uh,
costumes.
I did sneak into a few of these events. There was, you know, they're showing movies, there's book readings, there's autograph signings. The one room just had rhythmic drumming.
How
Just
many autographs did you give out?
I didn't get any autographs. How many did I give out? Did you say?
Yeah,
I didn't.
absolutely. You should have
Yeah,
been given
no.
autographs.
Maybe next one. Maybe the next one.
You're a real live airline captain.
I know. Well, it was so much fun, and the money that people must spend on these costumes, it's got to be out of sight because they're so legit. A lot of them though, just body paint and nothing else. So
Interesting.
yeah, kudos to them.
Kind of, yeah. I don't have the body for that. I'll tell you right now.
But the next day they had a parade with all the characters, like so all the superheroes would march together, and then all the people from Avatar would march together, and it was just so much fun. And I said, this has got to be, and it's every Labor Day weekend in Atlanta. They do this. I said, I got to bid for this every year, and I've been to a couple of them since. In fact,
Oh,
I
have
did
you?
one.
Okay, so you make a point of it then.
If I remember coming into it, as life takes hold, and I'm many years since this initial one, but I did another one a few years back. I was with a guy who grew up in Atlanta, and he said, I'm so excited I'm going to take you to my favorite restaurant. So we're walking all over town, turning this way and that, and it was quite a hike to get to his favorite restaurant. And he stopped over on the corner, and I don't see it. And I'm looking around. He's got this big grin on his face. I said, all I see is this Waffle House. Yeah, let's go.
Oh, God.
Like
it was special?
It was his favorite restaurant. Oh my God, I've never seen someone so excited. Now, you and I had a meal together that was epic in proportion.
That was worth it. That's not a Waffle House, though.
This was the Brazilian Steakhouse in downtown Pittsburgh. Was it? I don't even know. Texas de Brazil or Fogo de Chao. There's so many of them. It is a dining extravaganza. If you have never had, listener, if you like meat, go. But prep yourself, because it is not a meal that you can just do on a whim. I have done it on a whim. I was in Louisville one time.
Not worth it on a whim. No, you can't take full advantage of it.
No, I've done it. I've actually done it more than once on a whim, and it's not as enjoyable. I was walking through Louisville looking for a place, and I was with an FO. Right. We're walking past this Brazilian steakhouse, and I said, have you ever? And he said, no. I said, let's go. No prep work. I mean, really, you need like 3 days. And you and I I think we had 2 days.
We planned it. Yeah, 2 days.
Because we did a trip.
Early breakfast.
Did it. Yeah. We did a previous night down on the beach in Puerto Rico. And we talked about it there. That was, I think you discovered it on your little app.
The Google.
Yeah. And so it was that moment we started prepping our bodies for this, and well worth it. So
an onslaught of meat, just 7 or 8 rounds of meat.
I would say it's the Waffle House of fine dining, maybe.
There's got to be a better description for that. I wouldn't ever put a Brazilian steakhouse and relate it to a Waffle House ever.
Well, okay.
You know what I did see for a Waffle House related? Waffle House is Southern hibachi.
Well, I don't know what that means.
Hibachi, you know, the one where they
cook on the
they do that. They just do that with eggs and bacon. It's breakfast hibachi.
Oh, well, I bought one of those for my backyard, for my deck.
You got a Blackstone?
It's not the Blackstone. I ended up with a Pit Boss because I was going through I was cleaning out a file cabinet or, a little, you have this one area where you just throw everything in your kitchen.
The junk drawer.
The junk. It's not. Yeah, it's not a drawer. It's like a rack. It's a
wicker. Junk drawer rack.
Anyway, I was cleaning it out, and I find this. There's a store up in the upper Midwest called Menards, which is kind of a big everything store. And if you buy anything at Menards, you get an 11% rebate on everything you buy. So you fill out a little thing online, and then they send you a form. This is basically
Really
next time you go to the store, you get 11% off of your purchase.
interesting. I didn't know that.
So yeah, I don't know what I had bought. I bought a bathroom there. So I had a couple $100 in Menards rebate. So I went to Menards and I bought the Pit Boss because that is what they sell there. And it's fantastic. It's like having my own diner right on my
Yep,
deck.
it really is. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of work to the setup and the cleanup, but it's worth it. Well, there was this one cargo flight. We went up to St. John's, Newfoundland. Now, that is the northeasternmost point of North America. It's very,
Is
very
that
up
where
there.
is that where Halifax is?
Halifax is not far enough north. It's past
Oh,
Halifax.
okay.
More north.
I've been to Halifax. I've never been to St.
Yeah.
John's.
So St. John's, I guess they have this this point called, I think it's Beacon Hill, if I remember. It's been over a decade since I've been there, but it's like they did the first like radio transmission to Europe or something from North America. Interesting town on the water, very hilly and rocky, and ironically, I was learning from the locals about like the famine in Ireland back in the day. They needed to get a boat, out of Europe, and like the first stop, the cheapest ticket was St. John's, and that Halifax was the next one, and then
It's the shortest distance, right?
yeah, then Boston and New York. So like the people that had more money could afford to go all the way to Boston or New York City, and it was like the cheaper ticket was just to get off the continent and just go to North America and just get off at St. John's. First stop, get on off, right? So there's and this is a decade ago. I'm not sure how accurate this is now, but they say that the Gaelic language still exists there.
Oh, sure it does.
Um, one of the first questions I got asked as I departed the airplane to head in off the airport, go to the hotel, is if I would like a Guinness at the
Oh,
airport.
is that a euphemism?
No, they handed us a Guinness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just handed it to you.
Oh, it was ready to go right there at the airport.
How fun.
Yeah, well, what an awesome way to start an overnight.
At least they're offering that as you get off the aircraft, not on.
Correct. Well, they know the difference, so they know.
Yeah.
They know the problems associated with that. So anyway, we, FO and I had a Guinness, and then we got to the hotel, and they had a beautiful kind of Main Street closed down at night, where they let everybody just kind of walk around between bar to bar and restaurant to restaurants. Getting kind of popular post-COVID, actually, where they're doing that again in a lot of towns. Instead of not being able to leave the restaurant or the bar with your drink, you can now meander through town and shop.
That's fun. We need to get back to stuff like that.
Yeah, so we had one of those nights. At the time, I was a volunteer fireman, and I had visited the fire station there and traded patches with their firefighters, which is a thing firefighters do.
Fun.
Yeah, so I got to go see their firefighting rigs, talk to their guys. It was a good overnight. It was a short overnight, but I crammed a lot of things into that overnight.
All right. I'm going to sidebar here because I just saw a story that says we are short on firefighters in this country.
Yeah.
So it got me wondering, like, I know there's a police academy, there's pilot flight schools. How does a firefighter become a firefighter?
So on Long Island, where I grew up, there is an academy. Well, there's multiple academies. I mean, if you work for the FDNY, they have their own training facility. But so Nassau County has a fire academy. Suffolk County has a fire academy. They have places you can go to learn. There are national certifications, Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, and so on, and other specialty trainings you can do. There was a career option of mine. I did apply. I didn't hear back fast enough. I was also in pilot training, and so I jumped at the first chance. Pilot job came first. So,
but then you finished it eventually.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I still served in a little bit, and it was a fun activity. It was a dream of mine as a child, so I got to live that dream for a little bit.
Congratulations! Very few people ever get to do that.
Yeah. Actually, it's kind of convenient. A long time ago, was it Masaba? They were doing voluntary leaves for a little bit, and I saw a fast track academy program that was like, it's kind of similar to my flight training, fast tracking. How fast can I get this done? I don't have 4 months to do this on Tuesday and Thursday nights. I need to do this every day. And they had they had I think they called it the combo course, where they covered everything in one shot. And so I took the leave of absence request from the airline, went to the fire academy, got all my certifications, and then went back to work and then did the volunteer firefighting in my spare time.
Very good.
Yeah.
Good for you. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
service.
Oh, stop it.
No,
You're
you don't
welcome
like
for my
that?
stuff.
I'm saying it. I'm saying it to you.
It's a volunteer organization. I don't
Well, it's even better. You did it for free.
service.
Didn't cost me a dime.
Well, it costed the taxpayers. Those fire trucks are brand new. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Still cheaper than full-time employees, I think.
you ever fly with a guy in the military and you thank him for his service?
No,
Because there's plenty of guys. I was
I
getting
try
off,
not to thank them for their service at work.
a guy got off the plane the other day, and I was standing there saying goodbye as a dutiful captain will. And as he walked up and get ready to leave the aircraft, he looks at me. He goes, "Air Force." I said, "No, man, this is an airline." He's like, I had a guy one time. He was we were in a van with a bunch of different crews, and one guy was talking about his service. I just got out of the service. I said, "Which one? Space Force?"
Oh, God. They don't even know it exists?
It did. It had just started, and he did not think that was an appropriate question.
No. I think Netflix did a bit about Space
They did.
Force. They have a show.
They
Did you watch
did
it?
with Steve Carell. I watched a few
Great
episodes.
show. Great. I watched both
I didn't
seasons.
finish it. But you know what
So they
that brings
cover
up?
that topic. They
Yeah,
compare like the Coast Guard's not really the military, but they are.
yeah.
That's how the rest of the branches feel about Space Force. Like the
See,
Coast Guard got happy that there was somebody below them in the pecking order now.
see, I'm the type of person that if I was going to go into the military, I would want to know the least risk military. Like, what's the least possibility of me getting killed, shot at? Space Force?
Yeah.
Maybe.
You probably won't
Coast-
drown, and Coast
Yeah.
Guard you could drown.
You could drown, but like I'm more concerned with being shot at. I always like to, like, if I meet a young person who wants to know about how to become a pilot.
They go, I should go join the yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could go join the military, and there are great benefits to that. Absolutely. Yes, you serve your country. They pay for everything, and you get, to see the world and all this other. But there are downsides. Number one to me is someone's going to shoot at you at some point, probably, maybe.
Yeah, possibility is there. You sign up for it.
So, or you go the long, expensive private route and do it the way you and I did it.
I think it's generational, the thought that every pilot flying an airliner was previously military. I think that's more of a Vietnam, Korea era where the only pilots ever really came from the military.
You
And
know
then
what
they
else
retired from their fighter pilot job, and they got their job flying this big old bus through the sky.
Yeah, you know what else is funny? You can see me on screen, right? I'm wearing glasses on my face. You see them? I've been wearing glasses for a long time. I recently had lunch with my dad, who is known me all my life. And
You don't say.
some don't. Somehow we got to talking about my job, and he looked at me and he said, "Aren't you supposed to have perfect vision to be a pilot?" Like,
How many years
Aren't you asking this about 30 years late?
A little late in the game for this question.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
I slid one by. They haven't noticed yet.
Yeah, no, we don't need perfect vision as long as it's corrected. And mine is corrected. I normally wear, I'm getting to a point though. I've been wearing contact lenses for a long time, but I'm at that point now where I can't read anymore. So I got these special glasses that allow me to read and see. They're called,
Bifocals?
no, that's the old folks name for them. They're called progressives.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. I have one pair for my house. I have one pair for home. And I'm sorry, my house is my home. One pair when I'm at work though, do you ever, like, you're out and you're like getting ready to head back to the hotel. You're like, I'm going to head home now. Yeah, I do that.
So, we live out of a bag.
And in that bag, I have my second pair of progressives. But what I don't have are prescription sunglasses. So if I go walking around, I will still wear my contact lenses so that I can wear my sun. I like to wear my sunnies when I'm out walking, but then I'll sit down at a restaurant and I can't read the menu. So that's how I ended up at like Subway, because I know what's on the menu.
Mobile
Yeah.
order from your phone, dude.
But I'll tell you something else that the glasses or the contacts allow you to do is they allow you to ride roller coasters, and I have done that a time or two because I love that stuff. I really dig it. I've been to a number of uh, amusement parks throughout the years, and one trip I did actually go to out in California. There's a place called Knott's Berry Farm. It's not too far from Disneyland, but it's a different theme park. So I have a friend named Prissy Bauer, who I have talked about in the past, and he got out of flying, and he drives me crazy because he always is ready to get back into flying, but then never does. And we'll go through cycles of this every couple of years. So 1 year he's really ready. He was getting sim time. He'd been out of it for years. He was getting sim time to get himself current again and getting ready to take all the written tests he needed to take. And I said, well, if you really want to do this, I'm going out to LA. Come with me on this trip so that you get a feel for it. You know, you'll wake up early, you'll drive, you'll wake up with me. And we did trip to Knott's Berry Farm while we were out there. Rode some roller coasters. That was so much fun.
Cool.
It was very cool. It was also very crowded because we went on a stupid Saturday afternoon, and they were also running we stayed in Long Beach, California, where they were running the Long Beach Grand Prix at the time.
Oh, perfect time.
We were there.
Plenty of people there. Oh, yeah.
Oh, so many people and so much noise.
No.
They don't put mufflers on those race cars that drive right by your pilot hotel room.
I'm into racing. I think I would appreciate it. But yeah, it's hard to get some sleep.
Well, another fun part about that race, I have this car racing game on the video console at home, and I was playing it, and they have the Long Beach Grand Prix.
Oh, do they? That's cool.
They build the whole city, so you can see it. I'm racing, and my
Go
kids
through
are
your hotel.
I said, "There's my hotel, kids."
Yep, that's too funny.
There's that thing. I've been there. Yeah, they like that. So, yeah, the fun parks, I've done a number of them, and this is one of the reasons I had kids, because I needed playmates. I've actually gone by myself. 1 year, Prissy Bauer talked me into getting season passes to this one park.
Okay.
That's kind of midway in between us. So, because he's got kids the same age as my kids, and so we'll meet all the time. We never, ever. Yeah. So I bought the season pass, but it gets me into all these other parks around the country. So I'm like, well, I'm going to make it work because I got to get my money's worth. So now I start looking up hotels that are nearby some of these parks that we're doing on layovers, and I got to get my money's worth. So I go to these parks, and sometimes like, you get in the elevator and the pilots are ready to go to the bar, right? I'm like, no, I got other plans.
I'm going to go ride roller coasters.
I don't think you're going to be into it. So, yeah.
It's worth an offer.
Yeah.
Unless you don't like them. Actually, here's a topic for you. You got to decide whether or not this person's worthy of hanging out with at the hotel.
So many are not.
You have like maybe 12 hours mixed in a little bit of time outside of like sterile cockpit and other things you're doing, business stuff, but like to try and figure out if you can be yourself and also be social. And a lot of guys don't even try. They're just like, yeah, go to the room, right? Slam clickers.
Right. Well, I think I explained this in a previous podcast. I can tell within the first 2 minutes if I'm going to like a person or not.
Yeah.
And whether that like extends to hanging out, it's a different story. And gotcha. I think you said sometimes on day one, you have to be not quite all yourself.
Yeah, you got to hold back a little bit.
Yeah, you hold back. Well, sometimes it's right away, though, and you can tell. So,
okay.
Yeah. I had another trip recently, another meat extravaganza.
No way.
Yeah, Austin, Texas.
Jealous.
Austin, Texas has a number of barbecue places. And so there's one that I discovered, and it's not like, so at the Brazilian steakhouse, I don't think we explained how it works. At the Brazilian steakhouse, they call them gauchos. They're not waiters, really. It's an all-you-can-eat thing. But they come around with different spits of meat. Just giant things of meat.
It's a sword. It's a sword with a bunch of meat on it.
Yeah. They've gone and killed the cow. They've roasted the meat on the sword, and they're bringing it around to you. And if you want some, they will provide you with some. and you have
But
a
you
little
have to
card.
turn that little card, right?
Yeah, you
That's
have a little
green
card.
and red.
It's, green on one side, red. If you're ready to eat, you turn the green side up so they can see it. They come to you, and they have every different cut of meat. They have sirloins, they have fillets, they have T-bones, they have, I
They
can't
have
even,
sausages, chicken,
chickens,
bacon,
porks, shrimp,
pork. Yeah.
everything. I'm telling you, that's why you need 3 days to prepare. They're roaming around the restaurant with all, and then there's also the salad buffet over there with all the other stuff that you would
That
eat.
soup was so good. Oh, I'll never
It was
forget
so
that
good.
soup.
Well, this place in Austin, this barbecue place, is kind of like that, except instead of them walking around the room with it, you just walk up to the grill where all the meat is, and you say, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that.
Were you at a
And
Heart Eight barbecue?
no, it was called Cooper's, I believe.
Cooper's. Okay. I've heard of
Cooper's.
Cooper's.
Yeah, Cooper's
It's
was
all just
good.
laying there. You just order with your eyes.
Yeah, but then they weigh it, and
They weigh
you're
it again. That's
charged.
where
You're
they get you.
charged by
Take
the
your credit
pound.
card out.
Oh,
Yep.
they got me. They got me. Yeah.
$75.
Oh, it was more.
Really?
Well, I actually went 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, okay.
I took two different FOs, and
The first time you go, though, to one of those, that's when they get you. You're like, oh, I'll take a slice of that. 3 slices. You know what? Throw another. Yeah, give me a piece of
dude,
that. And then when you get to the end, you're like, oh my gosh, $100.
Rich, I spent more the second time because the first time I went, I got the sides that really filled me up. The sides filled me up. So the second time I said, I need to save on sides so I can have more meat. And the more meat was more pounds and more money.
You
Yeah.
get what you pay for. It's worth it.
But it was good. It was good.
So I developed in my mid-age stomach an intolerance to the rind on this barbecue. So I have to be careful with barbecue now.
Oh, well.
I get like a reflux the next day from the seasonings. It's very sad. I love barbecue.
That makes me sad, but there are plenty other meats you can eat.
Oh, I'll sacrifice once or twice a year. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to do this, right? Like,
I think that's what you did with me. I remember you sacrificing. Yeah.
We're going to do this. And I may pay for this tomorrow, but it's worth it.
So what does any of this have to do with flying?
Because we have to make the best of our time away from our homes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gone. Well, we're gone. We don't come back for dinner. We don't clock in at 8 a.m. and clock out at 5 and drive home. We are gone from when we start. Or it could be a 1 day, a 2 day, a 4 day. Some cargo pilots go 18 days at a stretch. You are gone from the day you walk out the door till when you come back through, and it's not daily in most cases.
You just reminded me of something. I realized in the last couple of years that my kids have no idea what real life looks like.
Real life for who?
Real life for them if they grow up and choose to go into a real profession, not aviation related.
Is this not real? Is this not real?
Not. This is completely fantasy.
This is fantasy.
It's completely made up and it's fake. Because everything you just said, we don't do the 8 to 5 job. We don't come home every night and lay our head on our own pillow. We're not at the dinner table. We don't even have
a lunch hour.
We're not even helping our kids.
Breaks.
No, and we can't help our kids do their homeworks. And I realized that my kids don't see a person, because my wife stays home. They don't see a person leave the house every day and go to an office and then come home and only be there if they're lucky at breakfast and at dinner time. So
yeah, they see you around for a week at a time, though.
Yeah, they 100% do. And I would never trade that. And I don't think that when I die, my kids are going to be like, yeah, Dad was around. That's what they'll say. Dad was around. Gee, Dad didn't show us what the real world looks like, and we're not prepared for it when we go into it.
The world is what you make it for them.
I think in this profession, you have a lady wife who works in an office. Do you know?
She does. She works. Yep.
So they see her go to work every day and come home every day.
They do.
So
there's an exchange at our door between our child care provider, say nanny, and the nanny walks in as the wife walks out.
Now we're going back into Fantasyland.
Fantasyland, yes. They have full-time childcare because neither of our schedules are predictable enough to utilize.
And your kids are little. Your kids are young. They're not even school-aged yet.
10 and younger.
Yeah. So you got to have somebody taking care of those kids so that your wife can go earn a living so that you can goof off. Sometimes I will just pray for a rainy or snowy day so that I have no excuse to go out because I want to be lazy, but then there's plenty of adventure to be had.
Yeah. Every once in a while I need that day where I just lay on Netflix, right? Everyone needs that day. And actually we're better poised to have that day than most people because most people without this job, they're at home and they can't just lay. There's things, there's animals, there's
Yeah,
your friends, your mail, the Amazon guy drops boxes, and then there's reasons you'll have to get up, and your phone rings, and your fax machine, and whatever it is.
Or you're that guy that goes to work for 10 hours, and then you only have evenings and weekends to get everything done around the house.
Correct. Oh, and you come home, and the kids need thing, and there's a baseball practice, or this one, or a concert, or gosh, the dog needs walking, the vet needs a visit. It just never ends. So
So it's
when we
funny.
go away, we're on news. We're off the grid.
I've never met a pilot who can't complain to the nth degree, but really, why?
We have it made.
We do have it made. Let's keep it made. In fact, I want to stop sharing these secrets because it's going to get out, and somebody's going to come and take it away from me. Time to wrap it up. But let's remember, we got questions. We want to put this out there. catsonguard@gmail.com. Send us your questions. We can't wait to answer them. I'm MC Howe.
Richard Million.
Come back next time.